Yo. Whilst I wait in typical Facebook living / Noli styles, just going to share this in the places. And if you are jumping on live or on the replay, obviously let me know. I'm just sharing this. In the places. Ding, 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 ding. We have many things to talk about. Yes, we do. Oh, yes, sir. Paste, share, go, done. Hi, Julie. Oh my goodness, what a treat to have you on live. Our time zones collide. You must be up early. Cheers. Green tea. Clink. In my still Christmas mug, which I've been using all year, I bought last year around the end of October, beginning of November, and it's like, it's still with me now. So, what are we talking about today? I actually have been making little notes about things that I wanted to talk about, and I had like about 3 or 4 different notes in my phone, and I was like, right, what am I really feeling the vibe of to live stream on today? And then when I looked at them, I was like, they're all different, but they're actually all connected to the same thing. So I used to be very much a person who would be like, crash and burn, go, 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 fucking like pedal to the metal, rah, and then crash, burn. And with that cycle, I know I've spoken about this before, but that cycle of crash, burn, those crazy waves of emotion that I used to ride the whole fucking time, because I was attaching all of that to meaning something about me, and I also had like almost like a lack of trust in myself. So it felt like if I didn't harness the energy when it was available to me, it was like I didn't trust that the energy would ever come back. So I kind of felt like I had to do as much as possible in that short space of time so that I could maximize maximize that energy, make the most of it, so that I could propel myself forward as far as I could possibly go, so that when I crashed, so I was already setting myself up for the expectation of a fucking crash, but anyway, so when I crashed on the other side of it, I would have at least got far enough ahead that I could afford the rest. Yeah? So let me know if this is resonating with you. This idea that, and it really does come from this idea that we can't trust ourselves, to do the work when we need to do the work. It's almost like we also there's a part of us that's almost like not trusting of our own energy and our own ebbs and flows, and not trusting that it is a flow, so that sometimes there will be these peaks of energy and then these troughs, and in those troughs, rather than trying to push through, if we actually allow ourselves to ride that wave and rest and nurture and nourish ourselves, go within, do whatever we need to do to feel better, and then come out the other side, those troughs don't actually last as long, right? So riding that wave of the high used to be so manic for me that I would end up really and anyone who told me otherwise as well, like anyone who ever tried to guide me to a place of, like leveling out or whatever, I was like, fuck you. I loved my mania in a way. I'm not saying that I was like diagnosed with mania or anything. I'm just saying like it was like fully manic, and I'd be like, almost to the point where it felt like I'd like left my body, because I'd be so fucking like full on. And it really did feel like almost like this out of body experience, like I was just floating outside. And now what I understand is that I had become addicted to those phases of feeling like I'd almost left my body, because I felt like I was getting so much done. But what it meant was, because I wasn't grounding and I wasn't actually embodied in living and experiencing my life, I wasn't able to enjoy those moments, like those highs. And when the lows came, I would crash back into my body, and then I'd have to feel everything that I hadn't allowed myself to feel to afford me that high. So what I now understand is that, again, it all comes back to the same thing that I keep fucking preaching time and time again, but feel your fucking feelings, bitches. This is coming from the fire queen of the solar plexus. Like, feel your fucking feelings. But really, if we wish to operate at the level that we wish to operate at, which, you know, is pretty fucking high, we have high expectations of ourselves, we have big goals, big dreams, massive fucking visionary people. We know what we're calling in for our lives. We know what is available to us and what we're stepping into. And we tend to, you know, or can get these flurries of like massive passion and fire and explosivity and like, get it done. But then the low that comes afterwards is almost so debilitating that we spend so much time having to almost like put ourselves back together or kind of soothe the wounds and recoup our system. It's almost like being like fucking rehabilitating ourselves so that we can then get back up and carry on. Because on some level, we kind of conditioned ourselves to believe that we have to be operating at that level all the time if we want to succeed. And it's just not fucking true. And that's part of my mission with when I'm working with entrepreneurs and business owners, is really to remind them that it's okay to... Do you share more on your journey of this in your book, G? Interesting. I don't... Not specifically around business, but this is kind of what the next book's going to be about. But read the first one anyway, Sam. It's like 99 pence or 99 cents on Amazon. I mean, it's a steal. You practically make money buying it. What can I say? Ding, ding. But yeah, this is what I teach people, right? So this is my constant working on this myself has allowed me to really be able to see the reflection on other people, which means that I can help them with it. So I'm only really fully integrating these pieces myself right now anyway. Like, I feel like I'm in a place where the last 6 months I've come through and like so many transformational processes, and I've come to a point where what I've realized, I'm actually going to read to you what I wrote down in my notes, like as titles for live stream that I could potentially do. Oh, look, 33% of battery. Right, so look, here's what I wrote in my notes that I needed to so what I've written here is, let's talk about incremental change. The idea of slow and steady growth used to make me want to claw my own eyes out. But here's what I now understand. It's so funny because someone said to me, I can't remember, like, there's someone, whether it's a friend or a client, said to me something about patience. I can't remember, I think it was a spiral client actually. Yes, it was a spiral client. We were going through level 4. And she said something to me about, oh, I suppose it all comes back to this idea of having patience, doesn't it? And I was like, bleh. I don't believe in having patience. I believe in having faith, and I believe in trusting the process, and I believe in incremental growth, and I believe that everything I desire gets to come to me and I get to be the embodiment of it, and that's how I receive it. I do not believe that I have to sit around and be patient because, and here's the thing, patience, in my mind, I'm not saying this is the same for you, but if you're here, it might well be. So to me, the word patience is steeped in the energy of waiting, of stagnation, of like needing someone else to deliver something to me, needing something to happen in order for me to own all that I am and my worthiness and my deservedness. I don't fucking need that. I don't need to be patient. It's more about understanding that when I'm connected to what it is that I want and I align my internal frequency with that, my beliefs are going to start to shift. And you know what? Yeah, sometimes limiting beliefs, sometimes energetic blocks or emotional trauma comes up to be cleared on the way. But I'm not going to go fucking hunting for that stuff because I've done enough transformational processes now to know that I've got a pretty clean slate. You know? So from now on, can we all just decide? Yeah, it sounds like pain. Totally. Oh, good, Sam. I love that it's resonating. I love it. Yes. So this idea that we have to fucking wait for things is so irritating for people like us because we want it all now. In fact, I want like my team, God bless them. I want my team to already know what it is I want so that it's already done yesterday, so that when I say to them, I've had this idea, they go, oh yeah, we knew you were going to say that, here you go, right? That's how fast I want things to fucking be. In reality, does it take a little bit longer than that? Yes, sometimes. However, sometimes they do actually say to me, oh, what about this? And I'm like, fuck, yes, that's exactly what I want. Right? Because I am actually continually aligning myself to the vibration of attracting people who support me in a way that serves my genius. My genius is not in fucking planning out a system and then implementing a step-by-step system. That's why I delegate that stuff to someone who is really fucking good at it and like does have the quote unquote patience to work in that way, because to them that isn't patience. To them that's just, well, these are the steps and I follow the steps and this is how shit gets done, so this is how I do stuff, you know. Whereas to me that would feel like literally like poking myself in the eyeball with a stick. Like, you know, to some people that's really fun, and I used to have guilt around this because I was like, if I don't find that stuff fun, or if I don't enjoy doing that stuff, there can't possibly be anyone out there who does. So I used to actually have guilt about handing stuff over. I'd be like, I'm so sorry, please can you do this for me, or I'll pay you. Ooh. And they'd be like, yes, this is what you're employing me for. Thank you very much. Whereas now I understand, you know, I'm paying people to do certain things, I get to delegate. Ta-da. What I really love, this has totally gone like down another path that I wasn't expecting, but we'll just go there. Someone must need to know this. Maybe it's just me reiterating it to myself. When we allow ourselves to be supported in a way that really serves our genius, that's also a part of the crash and burn, right? That's about allowing ourselves to understand that when you're in that place of being afraid to invest in support, which I was in that for fucking years, I had to hit a certain amount of income per month. I remember the first time I actually employed someone else to do something, I made 24k in that month, and I was like, even then I still had so much scarcity stuff. That was like 2 or 3 years ago, and I still had so much scarcity in my like field and in my mind, so much trauma around scarcity and lack programming, that even then it was so fucking hard for me to pay someone a few £100s a month to support me. And I wasn't getting what I needed from that relationship because I wasn't able to ask without apologizing. Therefore, I wasn't really asking for what I wanted. So my boundaries were sloppy. So I didn't really get what I wanted. So it took twice as long. And then there were loads of mistakes. And it was a fucking mess, but it was a big lesson. And so again, this is why I'm so shit hot with my clients around like, step into your boundaries, step into knowing what you really want, and don't be afraid to ask for it. And if you are, that's when the clearing comes in. When you take those steps as the person that you know you are on the inside, that next level you, if you like, when you own that frequency inside of yourself and you actually step forward from that place, sure, shit's gonna come up, and that's when you get to clear it. But you don't need to go hunting for it all the time. You don't need to go hunting for more shit to clear unless, you know, I can't imagine that anyone who's following my work these days has never done any kind of clearing work, any kind of meditation, any kind of, you know, talk therapy or self-development work. I believe everyone in my community, everyone in my following now has done at least some fucking work on themselves, if not like a shit ton. So we're at that point now, people, where we've like poked our head through the ground. We've come out of the fucking thick, dark, shadowy shit where we had to literally fucking clear decades of programming. We've climbed to the top, and it's like we poke our little head out and people just go, oh fuck, I thought that now I've done all those processes, everything would be fine and everything would just happen and I wouldn't ever have to do any work on myself ever again. And it's like, no bitch, now you're at the fucking surface. It's time to start moving towards the sun. Like, you've come out of the shadows and now it's time to start fully blooming, blossoming, becoming, like allowing yourself to fully be seen. So many people who come and work with me, we end up working on their, you know, like expressing themselves. I'm not just talking about like rubbing their tits and gyrating. I'm talking about like fully stepping into, when the message comes through, just letting it be the fucking message and not second guessing themselves and not trying to fit some fucking box online that makes them spiritual or feminine or masculine or powerful or whatever. Like, I'm here to remind people that whatever they are, wherever they are, is absolutely fucking perfect. Like, you don't have to step into what you see someone else doing that you perceive as success. It's so important for you to understand what success really means to you. And again, this is a huge piece of the work that I'm doing with my clients these days, is really because I've had to do it myself. You know, this year I've had to do this myself. Again, I hit new levels with my income. I hit new levels in, fucking published a fucking book. Hello. Like, became an international best-selling author. Like, all of this amazing stuff that I've like achieved, that I've done, stuff that was like ticked off the fucking bucket list. And then I was sitting there going, well, now what? And I feel like people tend to come to me at that stage. They're like, well, now what? Like I know I can make money. I know I can sell stuff. I know that this stuff is possible for me, but maybe they're kind of like energetically castrating their ability to make money, because they know that if they truly started making the money and like allowing in the money that wants to fucking come to them, oh, someone's just like, I just made money. There we go. PayPal notification. Welcome to the Lunar Tapping Circle. I won't name you, but the person who's just signed up, welcome. That's amazing. So yeah, like working with people and getting them to this point where they like reactivate and reconnect with their own purpose. And yes, going through something like the spiral will really help you, but it is a deconstruction process in essence. It is like deconstructing the programming. And I really feel like once you've done a process like that, the integration is the part that so many people... Oh, it was you, Julie. Yes, there you go. You named and shamed yourself. Welcome to the Lunar Tapping Circle, Julie. I will send you an email very, very shortly, I imagine. It will just go ping, and then you can come and join the group. I'm excited. Our next tapping session in there is tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Juicy shit, man. Juicy shit. So... just because you've poked your head out of the ground, just because you've done all the transformational work, don't forget that it's almost like, okay, so now the real work begins. Now they're working in this 3D reality and actually bringing my dreams into physical manifestation. And some of that is going to be action. Of course it is. Of course it is. But then when people work with me, they naturally kind of get into my field of like, do the things. And so they kind of feel more inspired to start showing up. But this idea of like stepping into what your honest and authentic expression of self is, it's not going to look like what mine does. And I'm not going to fucking try to make you do what I do, because what would be the point in that? That would be completely contradictory to everything that I preach, right? I don't want an army of mini Knowles. I've said this many, many times before. I want you to kind of get into the field of my energy, and I want you to be able to use that to activate something inside of yourself. It's not about me teaching you or giving you a structure or telling you what to do. Although if you ask me for specific advice and you say, what can I do XYZ, I'm gonna intuitively, dump the wisdom on you, of course, and give you tasks and whatever you need. But really, it's only ever about being in this permission field, being around someone who's probably made a fuck ton more mistakes than you have. And therefore, like, I've learned the hard way. I have learned so many things the hard way. Holy shit, the amount of times I tried to do a launch like properly, and it just doesn't work for me. Doing that kind of, this is what works for me. Because even if no one bought my shit, I would still really enjoy doing this. I'm not calling that in, obviously. Like, I love that I sell the shit also. Like, give me all the money. We like the money. Let's go. However, what I'm noticing I really love these days is that the money is actually just a symbol of how many people I'm getting to help, how many people are in my containers, and how many lives I'm getting to impact. And then, because I work with visionaries and change makers and fucking thought leaders, what this really means is that if I'm impacting their lives, holy fucking shit, how many lives are they then going to go on and impact? And then those people, how many lives are they going to go on and impact? Like, it's so much bigger than just me, and I know that, which is why I'm so done questioning what I'm putting out into the world, and I just fully trust. At the moment, I have the lunar tapping circle. I'm formulating and getting ready to launch the, oh my God, I can't remember what it's called now. The Rich Witch, right? Like that thing that I'm doing. I can't remember what it's fucking called at the moment because I'm so in flow here. I've got the money mindset reset coming up in about 10, 11 days time that starts. The launch is officially starting tomorrow. You know, like, I've got shit going on. Oh, the spiral I'm taking people through at the moment. I've got the business cover, which is like rolling enrollment. We've got the lunar tapping stuff. I've got all fucking sorts of stuff going on. I'm relaunching my podcast. But I can either allow myself to get really like overwhelmed by that stuff, or I can just take a step back and be like, holy fucking shit, man, this is my life. I get to talk and share and activate the living shit out of people to not just change their lives, but be someone who then ripples their energy out and becomes the change for other people. This is what it's all about. This is, burp, shifting. This is what it's all about. I had a conversation with a beautiful friend of mine today who's also an entrepreneur. And I asked her if she would do something for me because I knew it was like her zone of genius. It's something that I could do if I really wanted to, if I wanted to bootstrap it like I used to have to. And like, if I wanted to learn how to do this thing, I could totally learn how to do it. But I know she's already really good at it. She's got a bit of time. I was like, do you know what? Would you do this for me? And she was like, well, I can just show you how to do it if you want. And I was like, no, I don't actually want to do it. I want someone else to do it. So if it's not you, let me know someone that might be able to do it instead. And then her reasoning was, oh yeah, but it's just like, that's so easy for me. I feel bad charging you. And I was like, whoa. No, that's not cool. The things that you find easy, she finds these things easy because she's been in that industry for fucking years, And yeah, maybe it came naturally to her because she was passionate about it. And she's like me, when she is passionate about something, she picks it up real quick. But she's got years of experience in this industry that I need support in. So of course I'm going to pay her to do the thing because it would take me so long. And I understand that the value in her experience, and even though to her it feels like nothing and it might take her like 20 minutes, I'm like, bitch, you have no idea how much time you're saving me. If I had to learn how to do this on my own, it would take me hours, and it wouldn't just take me time hours, it would then take me like recovery hours, because when I do something that is not my zone of genius, that I don't particularly enjoy, that doesn't like light up my sacral fire, it drains the fuck out of me. So for something that would be fun for her, that would take her like 20 minutes, earn her some, some bucks from me, and then like know she's supporting a friend and like give her energy, that's that, versus me spending fucking like 8 hours or something like a day trying to figure this shit out, piecing it all together, and then hating it by the end, like resenting it because I've had to like do something that I really didn't want to fucking do. So to me, like, you can even feel the difference. Like, one is contracted, one is expansive. Which one do you think is going to mean that my podcast gets the most reach? Because it's podcast related, If I'm infusing it with, oh, I fucking hate this shit, I just want it fucking done. Like, that energy gets fucking put into the podcast and sent out into the world. That's not the energy I want to send out into the world. Like, that's not fucking cool. And it's also completely contradictory to my whole brand, the way that I live my life, and the message that I preach and what I help people with. It's incongruent with my fucking message and my values. So to pay someone else who I love and be able to support them in their business in helping me do something, that feels so expansive to me. And this, I think sometimes like coaches, healers, facilitators, people in like my industry, in our industry, what they don't understand sometimes is like, for example, I can't even think 10, like we're talking high tens of thousands. I don't think it's hundreds of thousands, although it could be, because there was a year where I spent a real fuck ton on mentoring. So definitely like the high tens of thousands. I should really add this up, but part of me doesn't really want to know. It's just like, just trust, it was all worth it. I've spent tens and tens and tens of thousands of pounds on mentoring, on certification courses, on travel to get to those fucking certification courses, because I live on an island, bitches. So it's like not a lot fucking happens here, which means that I've had to travel to the UK, I've had to travel to America, I've had to travel to Bali, I've had to travel to fucking Australia, you know, so all of this stuff, it costs money, it costs time, it costs energy. Lest we forget the amount of fucking ego deaths and energetic, you know, investment I've put into my own growth, plus the fact that I've been growing my business for 6 years, which means that I have so much experience of turning an in-person practice to an online practice one-to-one, to then creating group programs, group offerings, running in-person events. You know, I've done so much in my time as a mentor, as a facilitator, as an energy worker. I have so much fucking value to give people. And so do you. Like, don't undervalue the fact that you've had multiple ego deaths and painful transformational experiences. Like, don't put a price tag on the amount of time you're going to spend with somebody. Put a fucking price tag on the fact you've spent the last 10 years in self-development, like tearing your brain to pieces and putting it back in to understand yourself better so that you can help people up-level their shit quicker and with more ease. Working with somebody like me, or potentially you if you're watching and this is the kind of work you do also, working with someone like me is what gets someone from understanding that they are so much more than just a coach, so much more than just an energy worker, and we really start to anchor in like your inherent value, just a fucking human being on the planet. And do we put a financial figure on that? Fuck yeah, we do, because we're business owners and we're running a fucking business. But I give so much free value, even in these rants, you know, like there are people who watch my live streams or read my content, get my mailing list, sign up for my free shit, and may never ever fucking buy anything from me. You know what? That's fine. My dog's about to lose his shit 'cause my boyfriend's just got back. So let me just deal with this. Just doing a live stream, Johnny. Real life. That's the sound of a very, very excited sausage. And my boyfriend trying to shush him. It actually worked, which is quite rare because normally he would be uncontainable. But yeah, this is the whole fucking deal, right? It's like I've spent oh my God, since I was like 13, I've been reading fucking self-development books and going on courses and doing workshops. I think I did my first ever like reiki training when I was about 17, you know, and I'm now 37. So we're looking at over 20 years in general. I started reading the books, doing the work. You know, literally when I was 13, I bought my first book around, I can't remember what it was called now. I do still have it somewhere, but it was about like heart healing and connection and relationships, and because I had a bit of a fractious relationship with my mum and moo. And so I wanted to kind of do some work to repairing that. So, I mean, we're looking at over 20 years worth of experience in general. Not to mention the fact that I've been running my online business, right? And this is not about me going, and now I prove how amazing I am to you. This is about me saying, like, stop under fucking valuing the fact that you have held your feet to the flames multiple fucking times in service of becoming the best version of you, so that you can then radiate that out into the world. You've taken responsibility for your shit. I've taken responsibility for mine. Now we get to go and fucking help people do the same and raise the fucking vibration and consciousness of this whole freaking planet, because that's ultimately what we're here for. So if any of this is speaking to you and you're like, holy fucking shit, bitch, I need this crazy asshole on my team, that crazy asshole being me, then reach out, because I have so many offerings at the moment that are running that are fucking changing lives on the daily, right? You know, all it takes is like one perception shift to be able to change something. So for example, the client that was saying to me about the patient, that was the spa calling me to book in my spa day for next week. Let me just adjust my crown. Practicing what I preach, right? I've had so much in my schedule at the moment that I'm like, you know, I'm never someone who ever wants, when people say to me, oh God, how's life? I never say to people, I'm so busy. I fucking hate being busy. Like it's not, to me, being busy is not a marker of success. A marker of success is making the money, impacting the lives, and having a fuck ton of time and energy, like space where I just get to chill out, go and have a spa day, go get my roots done, get my nails done tomorrow. This little fella broke. Train at the gym, you know. And my clients only ever benefit from me taking care of myself. Because if I'm fried and I'm complete, like, I don't charge fucking bullshit prices. I know that my prices are, you know, they're not the fucking highest in the industry, that's for fucking sure, but they're not the lowest either. So I feel like my pricing is probably, you know, it's fairly high level in some of my one-to-one offerings, and the business coven is not, you know, like the cheapest fucking offering you're ever gonna find. But that's because I make sure that I don't ever take on more clients than I feel energetically available for, that I always take care of my frequency first. And if I ever feel like I'm depleting myself or I'm feeling a bit fucked up and a bit frazzled, I will make sure that I create time to nurture myself. Because I don't ever want to be in a position where my clients are messaging me and I'm just so fucking, that I can't even get back to them. Like, when you sign up to work with me, I'm available to you. And that's important to me. It's one of my values, right? Like, I like to be available to my clients, particularly my higher end clients, like in the Coven, and in my one-to-one Unleash program. Like, that shit's important to me. But because it's important to me, that is even more important for me to take care of myself. You get me? So anytime you put your clients' needs above your own, what you're actually doing is not putting their needs first at all. You know, because if you don't put your needs at the top, it's like having kids, and people have kids and then they're like, I can't because I feel so selfish. I'm like, fuck that. Go and have a spa day. Like, find someone, find childcare and go to the park for an hour on your own. Like, go outside, be alone for 5 minutes so that you can recharge your batteries. It's so important. Well, you're definitely speaking to me. Oh, good, Sam. The Noli gut punch. So yeah, so I think that's all I have to say. Let me just check in case there's any other nugs. Noli nugs. I just booked myself, I reached out to a local, like an amazing brand photographer who lives on our island to get some new branding shots done. Because the last ones I had done were in January in Byron Bay when we were at prac training, Sam. So it's time. It's time to up-level those bad boys. Oh, okay. There was something else that I wanted to say. So this is kind of about the incremental change piece. So what I put here is, you won't always know the work is working. So when it comes to growing your business, losing weight, creating the life that you desire, you won't always know the work is working because you won't always get immediate manifestations like this. Yeah? So you have to trust. You have to have faith. And what I put here was, you won't always know the work is working, and then one day you've got abs. Which is basically what happened to me this morning. I got up and I went to the bathroom and I looked in the mirror and I was like, holy fuck, like, I've got some serious definition going on. They came down to show my boyfriend. I was like, look at my belly and my fucking ab lines. And you know, and I haven't been going to the gym and like fucking crunching my life out. I've been going to the gym, training in a way that I enjoy. And again, this is what I teach people. This is what I preach, right? Do what you enjoy, do what lights you up and feels really fucking good, and you will get the results. Because when you align and when you kind of like anchor yourself into that future version of yourself, I'm doing this because we always think it's like outside of ourselves. In fact, it's actually inside, but you know, visually, this is like a nice anchor for us. So it's like when we anchor ourselves into something and we like allow ourselves to fully land it in our bodies, we then start to feel it. We start to become the embodiment of it, transmit that out into the world. And it's not just energy. It's not just a transmission. We also start to take actions as that person. So yeah, you probably will start showing up more online. And yeah, you probably will start feeling like you want to go to the gym and eating less shit, because you're aligning with the frequency of being that person. And that person at the being level doesn't fucking eat chocolate every day. Like, I don't even remember the last time I ate actual chocolate. Like, it's been fucking months. But, you know, when you align with the frequency internally and you become the person, it's the fucking be do have, you know, like talk about NLP mindset 101. But this is the work that I am doing with people. I'm not interested in giving you an ABC plan on how to get to your goals, because we can do that. But if you don't want to, and if you don't feel excited and passionate about doing it, then I'm certainly not going to make you do it. I would much rather find out what you are passionate about and then like kick your ass into doing that. Sometimes people come to me and they're artists and they're like, I just wish I could paint all day. And I'm like, well, then fucking paint all day. Oh, but I can't because, you know, I've got things to do. And I'm like, well, then get a cleaner and let them do the housework. You know, order your shopping in online, create your artwork, and see how much the fucking money like multiplies, because you're finally applying yourself to what you're here on this planet to fucking do, not distracting yourself with the bullshit that you think you should do because you're so worried about the perceptions of what other people will think of you if you have a housekeeper, and if you have your shopping ordered in, and if you know, get someone to send you ready-made meals once or twice a week to help, you know, lessen the load or whatever. Queen vibes. And then there was another question, but I think that's probably not as in line with what we've been talking about, so I'm going to leave that for another day. I'll come back and talk to you about that tomorrow, shall I? So yes, if this free flow rant has spoken to your soul, tickled your nethers like this, ooh, it's a bit creepy, do reach out to me. If you'd love to be a part of the Lunar Tapping Circle, this is the lowest investment that, you know, way to work with me. You get access to me twice a month, and in fact in October you get access to me 3 times, because there's going to be 3 moons. There are 2 full moons in October and 1 new moon, so we will be doing 3 tapping sessions in October. You sign up, it's a recurring monthly payment of £33, which is probably about like, I don't know, $50 if you're in Australia, or $40 if you're in the States, maybe. I don't know. Either way, you get access to me 2 to 3 times a month depending on the moons, and it's just like a rolling investment, so you can cancel it anytime just by going into your PayPal. You just click and then you just get removed, and you know, there's no hard feelings. So yeah, you just sign up, and it's kind of like a monthly membership vibe where we do EFT tapping and we harness the energy of the moon. And if you're interested in how that works, then in my Facebook group, Mindset and Life Transformations, if you just look that up, I think it's also linked to my business page. In the announcements, I put all of my live streams and then like specific ones that I do for that group as well. So if you pop into the announcements in that group, you will find one that's called New Moon Tappity Tap, which I did a few weeks ago when we had the new moon. And you'll see what I'm talking about, how that works, and how fucking potent it is. Even if you watch that replay, you will notice something shifts, because quantum as fuck. And if you're meant to be in that group, then this is gonna have the potency for you now, whether you watched it when it was created live or whether you watch it in 10 years time. That is always the intention I set with this work. So if you know you need to be in there, let me know. The Money Mindset Reset is going to be launched tomorrow. So please reach out if you have any questions about any of my offerings. I would love to service you. So yeah, hit me up with any questions. If not, I'll see you in the Lunar Tapping Circle. Next one is tomorrow. Love you, bye.